Delegates to represent Louisiana at the Republican National Convention in Tampa, Florida were chosen today, but not without issue. Ron Paul supporters took control of Louisiana's Republican State Convention today, starting their own convention. As KTBS 3's Craig Sims reports, it's left the state's Republican Party divided.
Security is brilliant. No, we're asking you security. I need to get your hands off of me. You have no authority.
This video shows Henry Herford, a Republican delegate from Delhi, Louisiana, being forced from the convention floor by Shreveport police.
The majority of the folks in attendance at the convention elected him as chairman, 58%.
And that majority supports Ron Paul. They broke away from the Republican State Convention, turning their chairs away from the main podium and starting a convention of their own. Connie Barnard, who is the vice chairman of the majority convention, says this separation was caused by convention rule changes.
And when those rule changes were released to us, to several of the delegates on Friday, they were not in keeping with the ideas of liberty and democracy.
Ron Paul supporters claim the new delegation rules make selecting delegates for the National Convention in Tampa unfair.
For example, one of the rule changes was that 1/3 of the delegation would constitute a quorum. Nowhere does any public body or any seated body does 1/3 constitute a quorum.
The minority convention claims otherwise.
And they can say that this is illegal or, that this is a departure from the rules or whatever. All we're saying is the Republicans of Louisiana are going to know what we did. They're going to accept what we did. They're going to say, oh, y'all were being fair. Y'all were making sure that Romney got his 5 delegates and Santorum got his 10.
Minority Convention Credential Committee Chairman Jeff Giles says the rule change was to prevent Ron Paul supporters from stealing Romney and Santorum delegates.
So we just tightened up the rules. We made it more responsible so that delegates for those candidates would be elected, instead of Ron Paul people posing as supporters of those candidates.
But Ron Paul supporters are the majority, and he won 4 of the 6 caucuses in April.
So the Ron Paul folks got out the vote. The majority of the state delegates statewide who were elected by the registered Republicans elected Ron Paul supporters.
Giles admits Paul's caucus wins, but claims the minority convention is protecting Republican primary votes.
I mean, look, Ron Paul got 9,300-something votes. Santorum got 90,000 votes. So those voters need to be represented in Tampa.
As for now, the Republican Party in Louisiana remains divided, and both conventions have selected delegates for the National Convention. In Shreveport, Craig Sims, KTBS 3 News.
Now, the Republican National Committee of Contest will hear the case of both conventions in Tampa come August. That national committee will then decide which delegates will represent Louisiana during the national convention. Police say Henry Herford was charged with 1 count of entering and remaining after being forbidden, which is a misdemeanor. Herford claims he was injured during his removal.